Hello and welcome back to another TBC Classic gold farming video. Today we are talking about mages and why they will be good for gold farming in TBC Classic. This is a video series where I review different classes and talk about why they are good for gold farming, in the hopes that I can show you that different classes have different strengths, and there are other options than being a protection paladin for gold farming in TBC Classic as well. So why exactly are mages good for gold farming in TBC Classic? Well, mages are still good at exactly what they were good at in Classic WoW as well, with some slight limitations. Actually, the limitations are quite huge, because in Classic WoW a mage could pull literally 500 plus mobs, as there are some 500 mob, 1 pull Maraudon boosts, but in TBC Classic many AoE spells are being target capped, meaning that you can't pull infinite amounts of mobs and AoE them down, at least not as a mage. There are some spells that don't get hit by this AoE cap, which includes the concentration for protection paladins, which is why they will become good, but also the flame strike for mages should stay untouched by this change. That being said, this AoE cap will make it a lot more difficult to be a mage, and you will most likely find yourself targeting between 5 and 10 enemies per pull, as 10 enemies is the AoE cap for your Blizzard ability. But mages are still absolutely insane for gold farming in most cases, because you can still pull 10 mobs in 1 pull and nuke them down decently fast with your Blizzard ability, for them to drink up and do the entire thing over again. This is really valuable, because for most of these open world gold farms there will be some competition, and you want to be able to pull more than 1 mob at a time. So the more mobs you can pull, and the faster you can tag the mobs, the more effectively you will be able to farm. For example, at this location I'm at right now, if I was farming against a hunter, that hunter would most likely be killing mobs 1 at a time, maybe 2 or 3 at a time if he was really good, but as a mage you can easily pull 5 or more mobs in 1 pull. I'm only doing 5 mobs in this clip to keep it safe, and because I really just wanted to show you how these pulls work, but you can easily pull 10 mobs per pull at a location like this one. Your only real limitations are your gear, the 10 mob AoE cap, and competition, meaning that if you have this entire place to yourself, you can easily pull 10 mobs, but if there's 5 other people farming here, you will find yourself competing for tags, and you will be lucky if you're even able to do an AoE pull. I also want to let you guys know that I've managed to secure you guys a 50% off code on what I think is the best gold making guide for TBC Classic, which you can find a link to in the description and the pinned comment. So far, this gold making guide has 80 pages of pure gold making information. It is incredibly in-depth, and by purchasing the guide you will also get all of the updates for free, as a student will keep improving and updating the guide before TBC comes out and during TBC as well. So if you want a guide that shows you everything you need to know about gold farming and gold making, go check it out, the link in the description, and use code Solheim at checkout to save 50%. Now this is where I will give you what I think might actually be the hottest tip for a mage gold farmer. If you ever have huge competition for a popular farming location, just change locations. I know this might sound dumb and obvious, but my point is, you want to maximize your efficiency and be able to pull up to 10 mobs per pull. You can literally grab skinning, go to Nagrand and pull 10 cleft hoofs in 1 pull, and you will end up making a decent amount of gold per hour from skinning those, and selling the not hide leather and thick cleft hoof leather you get from doing exactly that. In TBC there are many different skinning farms, and I talked about a couple of them in my hunter gold farming video, if you want to know more about them, and I will probably cover every single one in an upcoming skinning gold farming video as well. But mages are actually really good for farming skinning, because they have the ability to AoE pull and kill enemies fairly fast. Mages are also really good for farming primals, just like I'm showing you right here, because they can easily pull 10 of these mobs in 1 pull, and AoE them down and make a lot of gold from primals. But believe me when I say this, these primal farms will be so incredibly popular. Every mage and their mother will be doing these gold farms, as well as every single bot in the game will be doing these primal farms. So good luck finding a farm like this for yourself, where you can actually pull 10 mobs in 1 pull. Because in order to do that you need next to no competition, and you basically need the entire area to yourself. So my advice is to just find a gold farm where you can farm by yourself, so you can stick to your class strength, which is AoE pulling. If you are going to be at one of these moats or primal farms and you happen to have some competition, being a mage is actually one of the better classes to be, as you can tag mobs super fast as a mage. You have Ice Lance, which has a fast travel time, you have Fire Blast, which is instant, and without travel time, and if a mob spawns close to you, you can use a lower rank Arcane Explosion to deal some damage and tag it quickly. And if that mob spawns 20 yards away from you, you can even blink into him and use Fire Blast or Arcane Explosion. I think if you look away from a class like Druid that can tag super easy, with Moonfire and Sunfire, Mage might actually be the second best class for tagging mobs because of the toolkit they have available to them, and being able to pull a lot of enemies in one pull just makes them incredibly efficient at pretty much every type of gold farm. One thing I'll mention though is that you want to stay away from caster mobs, or if you're going to go for caster mobs, make sure you can absorb their cast damage, and/or have high resist against that spell damage. You also don't want to mix casters and melee mobs, because you want to be able to hit every single mob with your blizzards in one place, and as long as you pull melee mobs you can easily kite them around, while slowly finishing them off with blizzard. I'm not going to go highly in depth into how to AoE farm mobs because I assume most of you guys know this already from Classic WoW, but the basics are you just use Ice Barrier, Mana Shield, and you can even use Flame or Frost Barrier when fighting fire or frost elementals, like I'm doing here, and then just drink up to full mana quickly and pull enemies, frost over them, blink away, and use Blizzard. When it comes to the spec, it's not incredibly important, just go for whatever spec you enjoy. The one thing that is important if you want to go for Blizzard farming is to have improved Blizzard, and this spec right here is probably my favourite, even though I just made this one while leveling from 60 to 70, and I've just been sticking to it ever since, and it works as a great multi-combination spec that I can both farm with and do some dungeons and raiding with. One thing I would probably change is to have even more talent points into improved Frostbolt for a truly optimized multispec, but hey, just choose whatever you feel like. One thing I really like about being a mage is that you are incredibly self-sufficient, as you can craft your own food and water, which keeps you going for as long as you want to keep farming. As a hunter main, there's nothing more annoying when farming gold than running out of arrows mid-fight and having to finish off the mob without using any ranged abilities, for then to fly to a vendor and pick up arrows, or running out of food for your pet. While as a mage, if you run out of water, you can simply craft more of it. You can also keep your Hearthstone close to your farming location, and use your teleport ability to get back to Shattrath, making you even more flexible and mobile, which I think is great. You can also make a little bit of extra gold by selling food, water and portals, which is just a little extra reason to pick a mage for gold farming. So there it is guys, a couple of reasons why mages are good for gold farming in TBC Classic. So all of you mages from Classic WoW, don't worry, mages will still be great in TBC as well. You just probably won't be doing those 500 plus mob pulls inside dungeons, and you might have to farm a bit differently than you're used to. If you guys enjoyed this video series, make sure you click that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more TBC content, and let me know in the comments down below which class you wanted to see next. And that is it for now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again very soon.